Alrighty, Roo and Cuckoo Kachu to you. Hope is here. Malkavian as fuck. Um, just saying. So, do you take the job? Hey, Lamar. You want a job? Although it's a better situation than that, even though no one's gonna catch that reference because that is such an obscure movie. I don't even know if I could find it if I wanted to. I'd probably have to purchase it in some way. Why the hell not? If I have to, I'm definitely out. No, why the hell not? Why the hell not? Not a question mark, just standpoint, period. Hope brightens up and her smile looks surprisingly sincere. Excellent. Excellent. I promise you might find this interesting in more ways than one. You mean more than like... Because like vampires, generally, while they are a sexual creature and use sex and they're a metaphor for sex and blah 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 blah, all that, there's like, that's a whole ass fucking thing of itself. That's a conversation. People have probably written essays and all sorts of shit, you know, about it. But, generally, or at least in the world of darkness, I think, vampires don't actually fuck. They don't actually have full-on sex. Some do, and they're, like, capable of it with some effort. Like, you know, Blush of Life or High Humanity or whatever. And some actually, you know, like, they were just that sexual in life that it sort of carries over so that they're able to and want to. But, like, usually the fact just is across the board that, you know, blood's your new heroin, dude. It's like, it's your everything. Sex, none of that matters anymore. You don't see things that way. The pleasure you get from sex is, it's not like it would be as a human, because it just isn't. Like, it's just not. Like, I don't know how to really, like, phrase that other than it's, you know, sort of like you have to put a lot of effort to make something happen, and you're probably, if you're doing this, it's probably like a forced action for the purpose of some sort of social gain, rather than I just want to do this because it feels good, or I want it to because it's fun or something. It's almost always like doing something for a purpose, for probably a manipulative reason, given the nature of vampires in this world. So I guess basically what I'm saying is this, that because I'm a vampire now, it's not like I'm gonna be like you can be turned on and you can find this like things are still sexual, but I don't know, I'm trying to figure out how to, like, a good way to put it, where it's like, that's sexy, I'm turned on. That doesn't mean we're gonna have sex, I guess is the best, or we would, even if that was an option. Neither, like, that's just not how vampires tend to roll in this world. Again, they just they can do sexual things, but really blood and drinking is more of a sexual, that's sort of replaced that, you know? And if they're having sex, it's probably as a form of manipulation rather than recreation, I guess is the best way to put it. Anyway. Alright, give me a second. What is she doing? They did a good job, the artist, in capturing her expression. It sort of covers this whole thing where it's sort of like she's looking at me and she's just like interested, intrigued, but not completely, like, it's not tearing her away from her phone. It's like, okay, but also not like, you know, really It's not that important. It's more of a curiosity, I guess, is the best way to put it. But also revealing her vampiric nature, and it's like, it's a good character design. The whole thing really gets the point across, I think. And I think they did a good job with this character specifically. She spends a minute setting up the computer you used before, then urges you to sit down. The explanation of the moderator's functionalities is simple. It boils down to ignoring anybody who doesn't disrupt the chat, banning anyone who does, and kicking anyone who's causing minor trouble. So you kick them, and then you ban anyone who does disrupt the chat. And if they're just being a dick, you just kick them. Kick them in the dick. Alright. 5 minutes later, she's already online, sitting on her bed in a provocative pose. It's a sex show, isn't it? Her voice, previously hushed, rings out with full force. How are you doing tonight, hopefuls? You peek at the chat. We're not worthy, queen! Fucking A. Angel. Yeah. I was gonna say TOT, but that's like not. Tot is not the right fucking way to say that. It's an anime sort of emoticon old school thing. Hell yeah, time to sexy bozo up here. No one's doing anything wrong. I'm just ignore everybody. You're tempted to try to kick and ban prompts as soon as possible, but obviously you don't want to punish someone for a little dirty talk. No, it's a sex thing. It's fine. It's all good. Thank you. Today's show is quite special. Please welcome our new moderator, Coteries UIOP. LMAO. Oh, who? Oh, no, sorry for sentencing you to death earlier. My bad. You know what? I appreciate that, Bastardo. Like, you know, you gotta take that, like, a guy or whoever, you know, their handle is Bastardo. Just like, hey, my bad, buddy. It seems like you're cool. My bad. Sorry about that. We good? At least the community here seems to be a bit more welcoming this time. It looks like the place has had an established hazing ritual, or maybe they and Hope came up with one specifically for you. Who knows? Yeah. You decide to stay silent. Eventually people stop riffing you and focus entirely on the star of the show. Alright, let's start this one with a bang, shall we? It begins. Queen. Oh boy, she's gonna do it. Poonding? God. So this is where the strip show starts. You raise your head, curious about what kind of performance she's going for. First, she opens her mouth and reveals her retractable fangs in front of the camera. Oh yeah, that's a thing, in Vampire the Masquerade. The fangs aren't like a lot of other worlds, or I mean in most cases. Sometimes you don't have that as an option, but most clans, most individuals have fangs. They don't always have that. Like they can, it's like on and off, you know. It helps them blend in. I don't know if that was always the case, and there might be some vampires that are old enough that they're from a time where that wasn't the case, but in general, modern vampires have the ability, I think, to sort of turn it on and off. Right off the bat, the online audience is treated to a sight of her holy human set of teeth turning into a monstrous maw. The image is both revolting and fascinating. She raises her left wrist for everyone to see and then bites. The things immediately turn her arm into a horrifying gory mess. It's unclear if she used them to slash or bite, but one thing is for sure, no ordinary human could cause such damage. Not with like a bite. She's just like, and super nom, rar, XD, so random. If an ordinary human suffered such a wound, you'd expect a geyser of blood to appear too, but it doesn't. Hope's technically a corpse, so it's impossible. Again, that's sort of a thing. It depends on, I guess, who's telling the story, but sometimes you cut a vampire in the world of darkness and they bleed like a person might, and sometimes they don't. Like, they can just be like, yeah, nah, I'm not gonna bleed. There's not gonna be a squirt or a spray, it's just gonna be an open wound, and there's blood there, but they kind of hold it, like, mentally. She flashes a monstrous smile and starts smearing VtM all over her hand, maximizes the violent impact of the violent image, then starts drinking it up. I drink your milkshake. I drink it up. I just recently watched that, or rewatched it, and I think I rewatched it and I was like, damn, that is so fucking, this is so good. Fuck, I don't normally like movies like that, but it was really good. She makes it a point to make the sight as gruesome as possible, looking like a hyena feasting on a corpse. The contrast of her behavior with her look of an Instagram model is stunning. Yeah, nope, my head just started thinking about it, even though I don't use Instagram, and I'm just like, I don't like, nope, no sir, I don't like it. Like, that's, you know, like, because they would be human, and that would be like, oh, okay, no, you're gonna die. You need to go to the hospital now. Once she's done, she reveals her wrist to the camera for the last time. She starts making theatrical gestures with her right hand as the wound begins to mend. Na 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 na. Shortly after, the wound is gone. It's like a magician's trick. Her left hand looks like nothing bad ever happened to it. I mean, apart from what I assume is probably a lot of dried blood all over the place, but whatever. Here's an appetizer. First blood to kick off the show. While you're wondering what the hell is going on, Hope catches a glimpse of your bewildered face and turns into your direction. How's that for an opening? I mean, you know, they like it big, they like it loud, maybe a little jazzy sometimes. Mr. Pussycat, listen to me. If you gotta go big, you gotta go loud. Big and loud. They like it big and loud. Okay, I'm such a bad singer. God, it's like terrible karaoke up here. We're moving on. No one's gonna get the reference again. It's just for me. Again, amazing movie. People won't know. Doesn't matter. This is not a sex show? You're all shooting snuff. Are you hurt? I'm gonna be like, this is not a sex show? Like, I figured that was what, you know. This isn't a sex show? Sex? What were you counting on me getting naked in front of you or something? Oh, honey, we've just met each other. It's like, again, vampires, sexual beings that don't do sex for the most part, at least in the world of Vampire the Masquerade. But they're also very much like, they'll use it as a weapon, you know, or as a manipulative tool. Being naked and whatever is not a big deal. Like, they don't have the same sensibilities, you know. It's just like, it's just not the same. If you expected a strip show, yeah, sorry to disappoint. This is more like live stream digital art. The exotic subtext is there. Erotic subtext is there, of course. If you get the chat, they're going wild. It's like, I mean, why wouldn't you be in, like, I mean, effectively, like, lingerie or something? Ideally, some super cheap lingerie, because blood is hard to get out of anything. So I would assume just some crappy, cheap, you know, whatever brand, cheap brand lingerie you get from Wish. Kind of see-through, ill-fitting, and then you just bleed all over it because maybe that's just how you make more viewers and money, but whatever. Whatever. I assume she's still just wearing what she's wearing and in a provocative pose, which that just seems strange, you know, to me, like, thinking about it. I'm like, okay. She did that for free! For free! I'd love to lick your wrist clean, my angel. Yes! Nothing more arousing than a beautiful windy woman teetering on the edge of oblivion, a rose petal dancing in the eye of a violent hurricane. Well, aren't we the poet, sexy bozo? But also, didn't you... Alright. I mean, you got range. Good for you. But the eroticism is not the key here. It's vampirism. Again, that's like, you really should not be doing that. I don't think I should be here. You're definitely breaking a lot of the rules here. And I'm not that well known to the rules, but I don't know if I should be here or involved. It's a new frontier, a living art installation. In the early 90s, the Japanese artists kept producing these videotapes with beautiful women committing gory harikiri. Oh, Jesus Christ. Those are an inspiration. Okay, I gotta go into more of the lore here. So vampires and Vampire the Masquerade are largely, as we know them, are considered Cainites. That is a term applied to them by a lot of things, a lot of them. Whether they believe in the Book of Nod or whether or not Cain is their... Whether they believe it or not, it's sort of understood that that's the truth. If you look deep enough into the lore, there isn't enough. There's other theories, there's other clans that believe this or that or whatever, and maybe it's true or not. I don't know. A lot of times that's the case. It's like a faith-based religion, but in general, it does seem very much true that in the world of darkness, that Cain is the first vampire, and it's you know, like Cain and Abel, that whole thing. It gets deeper and weirder and all that, but that's not important right now. But there's other things in the world that are like vampires that aren't like other things, and there's Japanese or Asian fuck, I forget the word they use. Like Cainites call them Asian kindred, or I don't remember the term they use for them, and I forget exactly what they are, but they're basically Asian vampires, but they're not vampires per se. They're more like possessed corpses, you know, which is like, well, what's the difference? They have different rules, different powers, different weaknesses and strength. They're their own ass thing. They're a different thing. So in the 90s, saying that this is a thing, assuming this is real, they're probably not proper Cainites. They're probably whatever the Asian vampires are. I forget their term. And some of them could just do that, I guess. I don't know. I don't know enough about the Kindred of the East, I think is one. I read a book about it, or I bought a book and read it back in the day, which was a Tuesday. And I forget what they're called, which sucks. But, yeah. She bares her fangs again in a devious grin. But I have no interest in auto-destruction or turning myself into a victim. This is a celebration of a body I love, not self-inflicted punishment. I feel like she could survive Harikiri. I feel like there's a chance that the people who did the Harikiri video she's talking about were human beings doing it and died, or possibly vampires and could survive. Probably both. Who knows? The audience came here to marvel at a beautiful vampire and her awe-inspiring powers. Mending wounds is just one of these powers. The people watching can pay to see more. Oh, and don't worry, the only things the audience can see and hear are the things that I allow them to. We can talk freely. Just remember to moderate the chat, will you? It's like... Again, it would be weird for me watching her, like if it were me watching her do this as she's dressed now. I can't see what below the waist she's wearing. It could be pants, it could be a skirt, it could, you know, be tights. If I had to guess, I'd say probably tights. They look like gunmetal gray tights. But seeing that, it's like sexual but not, and the provocative pose would sort of like whatever, but it's just like this, what she looks like now is more of a modern aesthetic. I don't remember what it's called now. I think it's just called aesthetic. There's a lot of different fashion trends and whatever, and one of them is sort of like mom jeans and sort of an 80s style, like early 90s, late 80s, without the hair. You know, sometimes they'll have like fucking mullets or a altered form of it. A lot of overalls, a lot of mom jeans, high-waisted anything, everything. That sort of, like, it's like, look at Japan in the 80s and early 90s. Look at those pictures, basically that. You know, with various different takes on it. High risk of violating the masquerade. What a joke. She's blatantly breaching it in front of anonymous viewers. Still speechless, you turn your attention to the screen. Muy guapa. Alright, I'm feeling generous today. Have you planned your next tattoo yet? I'll pay for the next attraction. Looking like Pink Marshall covered in raspberry sauce. Thirst victim, just so you know, you're based. I know. Huh. Should I do anything against Masocha-sama? I don't feel like he's doing anything right now. That's sort of annoying, but no one's really doing anything. I don't know. I don't really like that. I'ma kick him. Fuck it. It gives a guy a kick for spamming the chat. Oh, nope, she didn't like it. Oh, well, my bad. Sorry. I don't know, I felt like that was not like it was disrespectful, it's more like annoying. Maybe I'll interpret it as his queen hurting him and be grateful, but stop messing up. Okay, my bad. My bad. I was on defense about it, but I kind of wanted to let it go, but I don't know. I made my choice. It happened. A special message appears on the chat log claiming somebody has successfully sponsored the first goal of the show. Hope smiles and picks up a bag of blood from underneath the bed. It must have been retrieved from a blood bank. She showcases the label with the camera for everyone to see. Do you have like a mini fridge under there, or is it just sitting in a cooler, or you just like you got like a little igloo down there, fucking ice in it? Drink up. Drink up. Wait, what? Did I say that? Hold on. No, fuck. God damn it! It moved. Hold on. Can I go back? Hold on. Oh fuck! Somebody who changed their name to mock me said drink up. Drink up, drink up. Heart. Heart. Hope pours all the contents of the bag into her throat. You have no doubt it's real blood, but wonder why the viewers would be so satisfied with something so easy to fake. It's like, look at that. That could just be V8. But sure, why not? Like, It's a Bloody Mary. Don't worry, it pays well enough. You don't even bother to tell her this is not what you're thinking about. It's safe to assume she knows. It's like, whatever, man. If you're making your money from it, kudos. It's just... So what do you know about the kindred and the internet? Have they told you anything? She's just talking to me? While she is waiting for someone to sponsor her next vampiric feat, she decides to start a conversation. Is this the right time? Is there a vampire internet? Like, that's what my character would do. I know about ShrekNet, but it's just like, what? If you find something that looks like vampire internet, stay away. Oh. Okay. See, some of us used to experiment with our own secure networks. We tried to build our own information hubs, social networks, everything. She's still working the phone in one hand while looking for something under the bed with the other. On how many things can she concentrate at one time exactly? Then one day, the NSA got it. Turns out the elders never really got the hang of proper security practices, or the sigils they used to smear on their screens didn't exactly work as advertised. Again. Okay, boomer. Then, of course, all the other three-lettered intelligence agencies in the world got the intel, and a lot of them decide bloodsuckers are the perfect new enemies for the post-9/11 times. You know, that, like I mentioned, the internet is largely a no-no because of these sort of things. The Second Inquisition came into being. Ever heard of it? So the First Inquisition was in the Middle Ages, and they fucked up shit and created a whole bunch of, like, you know, humans became aware of vampires. They started making vampire hunters and training against them, and there's also in the world of darkness hunters. Like Hunter the Reckoning is a thing, and hunters are human beings that have, you know, supernatural abilities that are sort of, it's sort of, from my, I don't know too much about it, it's sort of vague about how they get these abilities, or where they come from. It seems like effectively a human being, a normal motherfucker, experiences something supernatural, whether they see a werewolf or survive you know, a vampire attack, have to deal with like a wraith or a ghost or a mage. Something happens to them that breaks their ability to believe that the world is the way they believed it was, and they kind of, a lot of times, like with werewolves, they have this thing that if you see a werewolf, most human beings will just be like, if they see a werewolf and move on from it, like they don't die, they don't get killed or die or something, their brain will sort of like auto-correct and be like, no, they'll forget. They sort of just, it's just like a natural thing. But, and vampires have to worry about covering their tracks, but they have a lot of gifts. Every vampire has the ability to sort of make that very easy, in general. You know, don't be a dumbass. Don't go juggling fucking cars on the freeway. You know, that's dumb as hell. You know, that sort of thing. It's easy to get away with being a vampire. Werewolves don't have that same ability, except for, so it's sort of an innate thing. Other things but basically the human sees the thing that's supernatural, and they happen to be special or different or can't, they don't accept it. They accept this is new and this was real and they saw it, and as a result, a lot of times they can have this interaction, sort of like they connect with this greater force that is like called the calling or something, and they can ignore it, but